welcome to my channel. My name is Joy. So hey folks, I'm just hopping on here today because news just broke that the UC, University of California school system, is being sued by a number of individuals and organizations that say requiring test scores, SAT, ACT, and probably a plethora of others, I'm not sure exactly what the lawsuit says, is discriminatory, and it discriminates specifically against low income and racial minorities. And I can't say that I don't agree with that. So I'm gonna read here from an article I found. And yeah, before I get started, don't forget to like the video if you appreciate the content. This is breaking news. Who knows how long this lawsuit will last, but it will definitely affect college admissions in one way or the other. Whether that means that most schools will have to go test optional, or whether that means that the SAT, ACT is reinforced as the equalizer, as it points to in this article. But don't forget to like the content if you appreciate the channel, and subscribe. I release videos all the time on everything college admissions, from breaking news like this to how to submit your application to what to do after you submit your application. All of that. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and don't forget to click that notification bell so you know every time I release new videos. I really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you want the best insider info on everything college admissions. I work for a couple schools now, and I do work for a school within the UC system, so it's interesting to read about this. Of course, it'll have no bearing on how I assess applications this year, but it may in the future. So I'm gonna get to this article that I found on the Wall Street Journal, which is, it's all over the mainstream news about what is exactly happening in this lawsuit. But it basically says a group of students and community organizations, and this is by Melissa Corr, have filed a much anticipated lawsuit against the University of California, and that's the whole system, which includes UC San Diego, UC Berkeley, UCLA, all those schools. Alleging that the university system discriminates against low-income students, racial minorities, and others by requiring SAT or ACT admissions tests. The suit was filed Tuesday in California State Court on behalf of a high school sophomore, two seniors, and a first-year student at Pasadena City College, all of whom say they would be strong candidates for more selective UC campuses. Again, that's the UC Berkeley's, the UCLA, the UC San Diego campuses, except for their test scores. And then along with those students and individuals, several California college prep and social justice nonprofits are also plaintiffs in the suit, which means they're also suing the UC school system, saying that requiring test scores are discriminatory. And also says here that the Compton Unified School District is expected to file a related suit, so it'll be about the same thing. So reading through here, okay, so the lawsuit basically seeks to bar the UC system from requiring applicants to submit SAT and ACT scores because, as has been demonstrated time and time again, that being a non-first generation student, being a white or Asian student, coming from a wealthy family or a well-resourced school equates to higher test scores. And of course, for low-income students or racial minorities, that's discriminatory. Not everyone is a level playing field. Not everyone has the same resources to succeed on a test like the SAT, ACT, which is very much a Western European test. You know, it's in English. It goes by the standards that have been set in the United States of America. Even for international students, it's not a exactly fair way of measuring success in college. So, again, here they seek to bar the UC system from requiring applicants to submit SAT or SAT scores and from using scores in admissions decisions. So it's kind of twofold. You shouldn't have to be required to submit your scores, and then they shouldn't factor into admissions decisions at all. And then as someone who's read applications for many years now, it also claims that they want a way to just demonstrate that assessing scores will be done in a rigorous and meaningful, transparent, non-discriminatory, and non-stigmatizing manner, which all makes sense. That if you're assessing test scores, you're not doing so in a way that discriminates against one student or the other. One of the things I like that got highlighted in this particular article here on Wall Street Journal is that being a test optional school, meaning a school that doesn't require test scores either with the application or in the admissions decision process, there's more than 1,000 colleges and universities that are already test optional schools. Some of those include the University of Chicago and Colorado College. These schools in particular have questioned whether standardized scores actually provide more value or more understanding of a high school student's performance in predicting their actual college success. There are some studies actually that have been done by what it says here, Worcester Polytechnic and Loyola University, Maryland, that say that students who don't submit test scores tend to be more diverse and that they perform just as well as students who do submit test scores. So when you look at research like that, it's really hard to argue that test score submission should be mandatory when you get more diverse students and students who perform as well. Plus, there are a number of other indicators in applications that assess your academic performance, including how rigorous your classes are and then your overall GPA, and then all of that compared to your peers at the same school. So when people say that the SAT and the ACT are an equalizer, that is true, but when you can assess candidates with their cohort, so with peers at their school, then you create a more equal system because you're not assessing a student who is vastly and in many ways uniquely different from some other student across the United States or even across the world who is in a differently resourced school, in a different neighborhood, in a different environment with different parents and circumstances. So one of the things I want to point out here is that UC knew this lawsuit was coming. I remember hearing about it weeks, if not months ago, and that the UC system does currently have a task force that's assessing whether the SAT and ACT do actually provide the value and the determinants they're looking for. So with UC receiving over 175,000 applications just last year, whatever decision they make will impact a lot of folks. You know, I don't know what decision they're gonna make. It could be left or right, keep test or not. There are prominent schools who are test optional, so it wouldn't be extraordinary or out of the way for them to go test optional. I will point out that UC campuses do already consider all realms of academic performance like standardized test scores, class rank, and then extracurricular activities, your personal insight questions, all that goes into decisions. So test scores aren't the only means. But I did want to bring up this lawsuit because, you know, for students who will be applying to schools next year or the year after, especially in the UC system, California remains one of the top destinations for international students and domestic students. So whatever decision the UC system makes will have a big impact on a lot of applications. And, you know, I think they might lean towards getting rid of it. It's the way colleges are going. It's not crazy or bizarre for a school to be test optional at this point, but I will keep you guys updated on what is happening with this lawsuit so you know if we'll continue to see more and more colleges go test optional or no test at all where it's not required and it's not expected. But don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will be back with you next time for more news and more college admissions tips. See you next time. Bye.